Hey there, Wondering Watchers. This is a pick a card reading for messages from your higher self over the next 3 months. So I want to go ahead and put out this disclaimer of even though these cards may provide perspective on your love life, you have agency and the choice is always yours. Your behaviors, your actions, your decisions, those are yours to make. And right now, we're going to get perspective from these cards. So here we have 4 different piles of cards. We have pile 1 is Mystic Mondays. If it would help you to associate more with the stone that's with each deck, this is Chalcopyrite, Peacock ore. For pile number 2, we have Dark Mansions, and this is Chrysocolla. In pile number 3, we have the Light Seer's Tarot, and this stone is Chrysoprase. Pile number 4, we have the Pulp Tarot and Rose Quartz. So group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. So go ahead and tune into whichever deck calls to you, whichever gemstone calls to you, and I'll go ahead and put the associated deck and stone in the description box, timestamp, so you can click on the link for the reading you want. Hello, this is a reading for those that picked group number 1, Mystic Mondays, with the associated Peacock or Chalcopyrite. So what I will say off the bat is for those drawn to this particular peacock, or perhaps you have been having a sense of joy in your life recently, or you're looking for a sense of joy in your life. It may be that you have recently felt that there's just been a lot of different emotions going on, and you're really hoping to get more of a state of happiness, just a fixed state of happiness. So let's see what we have off the bat here. You have the Sun, the Knight of Cups, and the Seven of Swords. So with the Sun, that is a state of joy. That's the happiest state you can, have in the entire deck of tarot. That's the best card for happiness and joy. With the Knight of Cups, it's a sense of that offer of love that everyone is looking for, especially those, wanting to find it and feel more complete in who they are. They want to kind of find that other half of them. With the Seven of Swords, there's a concern, though, of someone not really showing all their cards, someone not really being honest in what it is that they want, what it is that they're offering. So I'm going to take a couple cards here and see if this is more of your past popping up as opposed to your future. Balance, confidence, and you have magic. So it seems that really it has to do with an overall view of someone coming towards you and approaching you with a sense of wanting to connect on that romantic level. It is a sense that is what they are presenting you, their true, honest emotion, or is it something that they really are putting up like a front, just trying to be something that they're not? Um, there is a sense that, you know, what they're hiding is really just their entire heart, like their ability to just make themselves shine and you as well. And really, it's more about your past and your future, what you've experienced and what you're afraid to experience going forward. So let's see here. In terms of where is it that you're feeling kind of stuck when it comes to this? You have the Princess of Cups. And that's a sense of, like a sense of curiosity and wonder and really looking at the world with a sense of potential and just opening your heart, opening your mind to what is there. So it seems that this more has to do with your past and being hopeful and possibly frustrated by what you experienced when you had that open heart, or shocked at what you saw, or just really weren't ready for what you were shown with that. You have the Four of Swords. It's a sense of really, it's almost as if you shut your eyes and you tried not to think about it, and you were able to succeed in not thinking about it, but it's almost a fear of intimacy, that even when you shut your eyes and you think, of everything else in the world besides the potential of someone being false, or the potential of someone not, being not actually helping you be the person that you think you should be. It's, even though you tried to put it out of your mind, it's still something that you're guarding yourself against. So it's almost isolating you, making you feel like when you start looking at it, it's having you see all the different ways that you are really boxing yourself in when it comes to your potential for opening your heart and opening yourself in general. But there's still potential for you to kind of find what it is you're looking for once you recognize what it is you want. There's things that we want and there's things that we need. So And you really do need to take a look at what you're feeling. What is it that you're desiring? This is basically saying, pay attention to the passion you are feeling for discovery, learning, exploration, spirituality, travel, your work, or your relationships. Passion and desire go together, especially as inspiration. So there is that potential for you to be able to embrace your passion and your desire for a true connection and have that sense of happiness and joy and balance in your life when it comes to what you can offer and what someone is giving to you. But it really does start from within. So in terms of, it's almost as if you need to get rid of that energy. But in terms of the people that, that come to you in the next few months, even potential, it's almost as if you're not going to really be able to see their potential. It's almost any type of strength, any type of confidence, any type of ability for someone to want to show you who they are. You're going to still wonder if there's something lingering in there that you can't sense. And it's almost as if you are afraid of letting your defenses down and recognizing, being vulnerable and showing yourself to someone and giving your power away, and that they will have power over you. So, but what, if that happened, it would be a choice for you to give that power away. It's probably not an ideal choice. It's something that I see you struggle with, a sense of who you are, a sense of who the other person in your life would make you want to be, and that almost as if that, in a sense, it doesn't matter what they bring, because you're also not sure what you're hiding. And it's almost as if you are afraid, but also need this other person to kind of bring out the true you, to kind of explore all the different areas of who you are. And to some degree, it's a lesson that you're going to be learning from this individual. And it's almost as if, there are going to be different options for you. Assess your relationships and determine how they are aligned with your goals. Setting boundaries requires an honest evaluation of your present relationships. So, yeah, it's almost as if you're afraid of connecting with someone because you don't know if they're honest and true. But deep down, you are not necessarily sure of who you are, and you kind of are needing or believe you need a relationship to figure out what role you want to serve, what it is that you want in a relationship, what is it that you even need for yourself. And to some degree, that's fine. That's fine. We all learn who we are by experiencing the world around us. So you're doing just fine. Your concerns are your concerns. They're going to be your concerns. And in terms of these next 3 months ahead, you can find what you're looking for. Whether it's true love or not, that's not really the issue here. It's more of what you can learn from that individual, and it might be more than one individual. And it really is your call on, what you want to experience. And it doesn't seem that you have a lack of options other than your concern of things that really are always going to be your concern. So you just have to trust that, you know yourself, and if things are wrong for you, then you will be able to you'll be able to see that. But I think the first month you're probably just going to just be looking at what options are there, and just recognize that it's fine if you go on a date with someone, or you pursue things and they don't work out. That's kind of what, almost what you're looking for. In terms of the pain, I think you have a very low threshold for pain, and that's not a criticism. You kind of will be able to know what it is you are willing to accept and not accept rather easily. And this will be not a quick lesson for you, but it's almost as if once you kind of rip off the bandage and say, this wasn't, working out the way that I expected it. You can choose to be friends with them, not friends with them. It was great meeting you. It was great, experiencing the time I had with you. I wish you the best in life. Or it can be, hey, I really like you. I really think we have a connection. It's not in the romantic sense, and I'm just putting that out there for you. If you want to be friends, I'd be, grateful for that friendship. And if not, I wish you the best. And it seems that this approach, it's not that you have to not date, not pursue what you think you want in the next 3 months. It's just take a moment to assess it, take a moment to see if there's any certain flags. You'll be able to kind of feel if it's right, but you're also going to recognize that this is part of you figuring out what you want and who you want to be with. And, look for, if you're at all concerned, doubting, not sure, just look for signs from the universe. They're going to be around, if you are on a date with someone and you're just not feeling it, you happen to, get a text message and it's a good opportunity for you to kind of say, hey, I really gotta go, or, maybe someone's being really loud and they're laughing really hard at the table next to you and it's distracting you. It's kind of like, it's almost as if there's signs all around you to let you know, hey, is this uncomfortable for you? Is it not comfortable? But it seems, at least in these next 3 months, you're not going to be finding your Prince Charming. You're going to be finding a person, possibly more than one, for kind of figuring out a little bit more about yourself and what it is that you bring to the table, what it is you offer. But ultimately, this is part of how you keep that joy and that balance, figuring out what you bring and what you can learn from someone else. And it seems that in the fall, you might be able to turn the tables a little bit more towards where your heart is. But you can't just, sit back and watch TV until the fall and then try dating then. That's not when, that's not how this is going to work. It's almost as if you have to go through this process, and in about, you know, 6 months or so, then you'll be able to be at a better place to assess what you truly want and what will really make you happy. So that's what I have for group number 1. We'll see you next time. Take care. Hello, this is the reading for group number 2, those that pick the deck Dark Mansion and Chrysocolla. So I'll start off by saying that for those in group number 2 that were drawn to the stone, I sense that you have been kind of being, I guess, isolated or alone lately, and you're ready to kind of put yourself out there. Perhaps you've been listening to certain types of music that has inspired you, and it could be that you're doing online dating or that you've started dating someone in particular. But basically, I feel that you really want to be able to express yourself and start embracing your inner strength, your ability to recognize what's for your best and highest good. For those that are kind of alone and been out of the game for a while, perhaps connecting with a potential, love match, or however it is that you're finding dates and people to connect with nowadays, whether it's online, in person, through friends. It's something where you can connect with either playing music or writing music, somehow inspired by the arts as well. But in terms of being able to speak your mind and be able to, speak your truth in relationships, you really want to do that, but in some respect, you're not sure of how much to say, how forceful, what tone, things like that. So for some of you, it's a sense of kind of feeling stuck in something from the past. something that really didn't work out the way that you were hoping for. This could be a relationship, and it's kind of this inner strength that you have to some degree is it's from this um, time of sadness and vulnerability and perceived weakness. But what you should consider is that this is a way for you to kind of recognize, it was a lesson for you to recognize what it is that you're willing to accept and not willing to accept. Because ultimately, you want to have that fairy tale. You want to have your friends, your family, your loved ones to gather around you and celebrate the person that you love and you connect with. Um, and however you need to get there is your journey. Um, but looking at the past as a lesson, if you if you need that experience to provide you strength as a jumping off point, that's absolutely fine. That might be what you need. But to tie those two together, it's going to linger. So you may need to, you know, just accept that sometimes there's this idea of happy, and then there's the reality of happy, which is that happiness kind of is not sustainable 24/7. The 10 of Cups here is really more about being able to experience the different emotions that we all have and being able to recognize them and honor your emotions. Um, but the idea, perhaps you've seen the traditional Ten of Cups, the Rider-Waite-Smith version, it occurs on a stage. So it calls into question whether, that idea of happiness, this happy ever after, is that just an idea? Is that something that we kind of see people going through the motions? Um, it's not to say it's not attainable, but to have always to be happy and to have our life lessons for that experience always be, stemming from bliss is really, not realistic for everyone. Um, but for you, if you need to find your strength based on something from the past, that's fine. Just make sure that you actually look at what was in the past and see what worked, what didn't work, and learn from that experience. So, to some degree, this aspect of inner strength that you have, um, I'm kind of sensing that it's almost like a determination of you want to be able to do these things. You want to be strong. You want to speak your mind. You want to honor your, the vibrancy within you. But it's almost as if you don't want to look at your vulnerabilities. But in order to kind of to be at that place where you're going to connect with someone, you're going to have to recognize your vulnerabilities. You're going to have to see what your wants and your needs are for, for yourself, so that when you meet your significant other, the person that is, gonna complete you or light you up or be someone that you want to commit to have a partnership with, you need to know what you are bringing to the table as opposed to this kind of idea of just strength. You need to actually know what it is that you are going to commit to, what lessons you're going to want to learn. They're going to want to know what you can teach them. And ultimately, for those that do want to get, see themselves being married, it's going to be vital that you know who you are, and that you are, that you do speak your mind, that you do kind of keep in touch with that aspect of you that is strong, that knows what they want kind of like out of life, but also kind of knowing what you need to feel supported, to feel comfortable. So isolation, comfort, sweetness. So like I said, it seems to some degree, some of you have been on your own, perhaps kind of taking time to figure out who you are, and you have been working on what your wants and needs are, and what makes you happy, what makes you comfortable, and you're ready to kind of to share that aspect of intimacy. You want to share your tenderness, but to some degree, there's a sense of still not wanting to see what feels like when you have concerns, when you're have fear, when you have doubt, what that space is filled with. And it could be that for some of you, there's maybe in your family, there might, if there's a history of like mental health concerns, then definitely that's something you should talk to with a qualified mental health professional. If it's that, you feel you need to meet a certain standard, perhaps maybe you have siblings that already have been married, have kids that are, growing older, and you're still trying to find people to date that you actually like. But it's something that you need to at least see and recognize for yourself, so that you can provide that, you can fully be confident in exploring something new with someone new, and actually have your arms open without any predetermined ideas of who you're going to be in that relationship, or what you're not going to allow to happen, what you are going to require in order to make you happy. And to some degree, having, recognizing what causes certain doubt and fear in you is just the first step. It's the biggest step. It's the biggest way for you to recognize that there are things that you do want to pursue, and acknowledging those, certain fears, anxieties, concerns that you have. They're really almost, it's kind of like if you were to play a video game, and you know that there's certain bad guys, criminals, monsters, aliens, zombies that pop up in certain spots. Just recognizing what, you know, what creatures or who the quote unquote bad people are um, in that game makes it so that you know what to look out for. And a sense of not having clarity is part of the experience of meeting someone new and being open to where the relationship takes you. And if you already, if you already knew exactly everything about who this other person was, exactly how many dates you would go on, exactly all the conversations you would have, all the, things that you liked and you didn't like, and you knew exactly how it was going to turn out, it's almost like there'd be no point in dating and experiencing those things. So having a little bit of fear and anxiety kind of is part of, you know, the joy of dating. So here you have seeing both sides. Take a step back and try looking at this from a different perspective. So definitely a perspective of this is kind of scary and exciting at the same time. You have distinctive potential. Rely on your faith and the knowledge that nothing is impossible. Use your determination to hang in there until you realize a goal. So right now, you don't have to have the goal of, I'm going to, speak my truth and embrace my inner power. And you don't have to do those things. It could be a goal of, hey, I'm going to go on a date and meet somebody in person. That's a great goal to have. It's something where you are opening you're opening your heart, you're opening your mind and the potential without having anything really predetermined. You have empower yourself, tune into your personal power. You're more than able to handle the situation facing you. Allow yourself to be a strong, beautiful person you're capable of being. So yeah, you don't have to prove who you are to anyone. You don't have to make any type of declarations of, what you're not going to accept, what you will accept, and kind of marking your power. You can, part of dating and meeting someone and, falling for each other is the vulnerability of it. And knowing that you have that personal power is great. And knowing that you have that personal power and it allows you to look at your vulnerabilities, and it allows you to share those vulnerabilities with other people at times. So I sense that in terms of you kind of finding the person that, you are proud of and you want to take around, it's going to be more than 3 months. It's going to take many, many months, possibly, up to 9 months. But during those 9 months, it's going to give you some time to figure out what it is that you want. It's not that you're going to be alone, but really, it's going to allow you to recognize the parts of yourself that are vulnerable. You can go, definitely, if you're up for it, go on dates, go and, open your arms to those possibilities and go, down those paths where it's scary and exciting. Also use your best judgment. I mean, I'm not saying go into, a dark, scary alleyway to potentially meet a date. Definitely use some reason. Um, but basically, recognizing your vulnerabilities and allowing yourself to, meet people where you're open to kind of sharing your tenderness with them. That's something that is going to allow you to kind of be at that place where in like 9 months, if you actually focus on this in 9 months, you could be in that place where you meet someone that you really want to show to your family, you really want to brag about. But in the next, 3 months, I would say, look at this a different way. You can recognize your strengths. You don't have to, splatter it all over the place. You don't have to, say, hi, my name is so and so, and I'm going to be a strong person and I'm going to speak my mind. Um, Definitely feel free to date during those 3 months, but take time to kind of to work on you, to work on what it is that you know, that you need to let go of from the past, or you need to appreciate, the experiences that had you come to the decision that you're going to be stronger and you're going to speak your mind and communicate clearly and all these things. It's almost that you have to look at that a little bit more and kind of learn from that. But like I said, feel free to date during those next 3 months and recognize that it is going to be um, kind of practice for you to learn and grow. And don't just go back to your place to hide. Don't just, if you've been by yourself, if you've been home alone, if you've just been cruising the dating apps and not really dedicating yourself, you're not going to be able to grow from this. You'll learn that if you don't put anything into it, you won't get anything out of it. And really, it won't benefit you. It won't benefit you just to kind of, it won't benefit you just to sit there and think about the past either, in terms of what people did that was wrong or hurtful. You have to look at it from the totality of the experience, in a sense of all factors involved. I know it's not like you're reliving the entire experience, but really try to look at it from, in hindsight, you should have a better understanding of things that were said, not said, reasons why you maybe even didn't pursue relationships, why you've been kind of being on your own and withdrawn or kind of hermiting. But basically, take it as a learning experience and not as something that, I guess, almost like you have to kind of make sure that you are from yourself, recognize what barriers you have, like what walls is even hard for you to penetrate. And if you kind of go through this process, you will, find what you're looking for in terms of love. But you also need to look at your idea of love, where it comes from. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Is it realistic to go from not knowing anyone to just having that fairy tale lifestyle, or, that happy ever after? without ups and downs, without, recognizing what you can handle on your own so that you as a couple know what to handle together. And to some degree, you do still need to heal from whatever it is sparked the idea of you being stronger and wanting to speak your mind and wanting to express your true self in your next relationship. So, at least for these next 3 months, there's some soul searching to do. Definitely, you can have, go on dates and look at it as an experience where it's not necessarily going to be or make or break it for you. So that might actually take some stress off of the situation where it's just you meeting people and living life. So this is what I have for group number 2, and I hope this has provided a helpful perspective of the next 3 months. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Hello. This is the reading for those that selected the Light Seer Tarot deck and Chrysoprase. So I'll start off by saying that for those attracted to this stone, it seems that you've been already through some rough times in the past and doing a lot of healing and really kind of feeling you are ready to get into a relationship, make that next move, so to say. And I'm feeling that it is a good time for you. You have the 10 of Cups here. So it's really, you've been able to experience a lot of different emotions, a lot of kind of recognize that the emotions that you experience, the good, the not so good, the ones that leave you kind of wondering what is really going on, that's something that you've been able to kind of accept and heal about life, about your journey. And it seems that you're ready to kind of move forward for something honest, something truthful. And because you've been doing this healing, you are more grounded than you have been in the past. You maybe have taken a lot of time to kind of recognize, your life experiences, they serve a purpose to teach you about yourself, about what you can handle, but what you can't handle even. And this kind of healing that you've been going through is really opened your eyes to your desires and who you want to be. And you walked away from whatever it was that you felt like was holding you back, was presenting a false sense of security for you. And you know that you're going to walk away from those types of situations in the future. It's as if you don't have a fear of, needing to be popular, needing to be liked. You have kind of made your relationship with your higher self to be a priority here. And in terms of what you are trying to guess who you're trying to meet, what you're trying to attract into your life is really something you want to keep positive. You want to keep this positivity going. You've been able to let go of, what doesn't serve your best and highest good. You understand that, sometimes in life you need to prune things. You need to get rid of and cut away, throw away the things that have decayed, that aren't helping you to thrive, because you're all about thriving now. You want to kind of, yeah, you've cleansed yourself of whatever it is, um, be it food, be it, um, you know, addictions, smoking, drinking a little bit more than you would want. You've been able to recognize and cut out what is not serving your best and highest good. And that includes even, who you've been surrounding yourself with. And you have really been like this, this healing that you've done has put you in a place where you are able to go forward knowing that you'll be really protected. You know when to walk away. You know you want to do what's for your best and highest good, and you can say no. So in terms of what you don't know is who will you can actually go on this emotional journey with, considering you are at a point where you're protected and you really want to experience positivity in your life. There is that kind of question of who can keep up with you, and whether or not, the choices that you've made are going to kind of restrict your options. But I would say that in terms of quantity, that's possibly the truth. In terms of quality, it probably is helping you see a little bit more, the quality people that you want to bring into your life, having this type of healing and clarity. Yeah, I do find that you really did spend time looking at who you are and who you want to be. And possibly, over the past few months, you really did have that kind of hermit-like quality of, getting your life, your sensations, your desires, your goals, like kind of figuring out who you are. You're really getting them kind of together, and you are really in a good position to let love kind of come in. So yeah, you seem pretty solid in that. So let's see what we have here in terms of your next 3 months. Clearing the excess. You are entering a transitional phase and would benefit from clearing away excess clutter, whether it is in your physical body or your physical space. Well, it looks like you're still going to, do that cleansing. You're still going to get rid of whatever is not serving your best and highest good. So, for those who still had some work to do, then there you go. There's confirmation. For those that thought that the work was done, I think it's pruning what's not good for you, not for your best interest, getting rid of clutter, and trying to get more clarity is always part of the process. You have surrounded by prosperity. Your attention is being drawn to the infinite nature of reality. That which exists outside the known is beyond measure. So it's almost as if um, you're being called to really get outside of your comfort zone now. Um, Perhaps you had a routine. Perhaps there was only certain people you surrounded yourself by. But as long as you know, and it seems like you've got a good sense of that knowledge of what to cut out, what to keep strong, um, then it's almost as if you have to kind of go outside of that routine. What I mean by that is if you've been going to a particular gym at a specific time of day and going to, I don't know, a juice bar or going, to pick up a piece of fresh fruit. It's almost as if maybe do things in a different order or try to go to a different market to pick up juice or a fresh fruit. But basically, it's kind of saying that there is a lot of options, even that you're not seeing. So, for some of you, on your way to pick up that fruit, maybe there's someone that works in the store there that you kind of been saying a friendly hello to, and there are some options there. So it seems like, the next 3 months is going to be your time for exploring that mystery of who is going to be that person that can kind of keep up with you. And you are going to be able to, whatever it is that you want to accomplish with the people that you're meeting in the next few months, that's going to be, up to you. You really do have control over what you want to happen and, how you want that to go. So kudos to you. So keep it up. Whatever you're doing, it's working, and you're going to have a really great next few months and definitely a great summer. So I'm hoping that this provides a helpful perspective of your love life over the next 3 months, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Hello there. This is a reading for those that pick the Pulp Tarot and Rose Quartz. So for those that were drawn to the Rose Quartz, I'm kind of sensing that you are so ready to find your, connection with your soulmate, your true love, your twin flame, whatever it is that you believe is your counterpart. You are so ready for this. In terms of your past experiences, it's like a hodgepodge. Some of you dated a whole bunch of great people, just didn't work out. For others, you've gone on a lot of, 1 or 2 dates, not a lot of, connection there. And for, even others of you, you have really had no options. And some of you have had a combination of all those things. And you are ready for this to happen. And you are kind of oozing. You are oozing this, this Queen of Wands, you are oozing a sense of desire and passion, and really you just walking into a room, there's something that people see. Um, there's a certain something about you. Um, to some degree, it might be desperation. For others, it could be you, they, that you're so looking for what you think you need that you're not really noticing the potential that's kind of around you. Um, to some degree, it's kind of a sense of you um, having different ideas about what it's going to look like and what to expect. So it's almost as if your expectations, like if I'm kind of sensing you go into someplace, it could be the store, it could be a bar, it could be a restaurant, it could be the park, and you kind of are looking for potential. Um, and you see, you know, three people there that you think are attractive, and you focus on those three people the whole time, trying to get a glance. Oh, there's not a glance. Well, there is that one person. Let me try the second of the three. Okay, well, let me try the third of the three, and kind of like trying to figure it all out. Um, but really, it's that sense of you're not, you're all over the place. You're just, I'm not going to say trying too hard. You are following your passions and your desires too quickly. It's almost as if your attention span is um, tied up with your desire or passion of who you think it might be. But it's almost as if you need to grab onto that potential of not knowing, that idea of, you know, not really having it all figured out, and just having a sense of just yourself, just being like solid confidence in yourself, and that the timing almost of when you're going to find someone shouldn't come into play, because even though you're so ready to find this love connection, it's almost as if you have bypassed that kind of sense of recognizing, not that you don't recognize your own good qualities. I think that you are pretty confident. It's almost like overly confident and not just being present, not recognizing the situation for, you know, what it is and everything that's there that is really, it's not just those three people that you're physically attracted to. There's a lot more in the room for you to learn from, to connect with. You never know. Perhaps one of the people you're not paying attention to has a sibling that's single that you'd be perfect for, and you could strike up a conversation with that person. Um, but it seems to be, it's almost as if you are so ready to find this connection that you're not taking time to get grounded in the present and assessing what you can um, what you can kind of benefit from just being present in the moment. But you do have pretty much what it takes to find, you know, a date. You have the confidence, you have, um, you know, the means to go out, you have the fashion sense, you have, it's almost like you are the complete package, e- except that being, you're not being present. So it could be to some degree that the people that you think you should have had a connection with are kind of able to see that there's something that you're going for, something that you desire that isn't what they're offering you, or not, it's not them, because you're so hungry for something that um, this this connection, this true love connection, that you're not taking the time even to appreciate who is right in front of you. It's almost that you're kind of looking at the next person behind them, even though that might not be the case. But I do find that you are, successful in dating. So in terms of the next 3 months, you won't have any problems finding dates. But in terms of the quality of it, it's it's almost an overbearing aspect of. I mean, it might be very slight and subtle, but sometimes like mannerisms, how micro mannerisms, even how you smile, how you look, how, people can kind of read certain things um, off of everyone. We all do it. We pick up on social cues, and we all, to some degree, can sense it. So it's almost like there's, the elephant in the room no one's talking about, where it's almost like you're trying to look for that spark as soon as you um, meet someone, and sizing them up to see, where is this going to go? Where is this going to lead? Is this person, do I feel that they're the one, type of thing? So in terms of finding that person, possibly, but not in the next 3 months. Um, it's almost as if you're not willing to let that aspect go, that drive of, what that you want that connection, and you want it so badly, so severely, that you are afraid that if you let it go, that drive to connect, that you're not going to be able to connect with, not that you won't be able to connect with anyone, but that it's almost as if you're trying to manifest something. And if you are in the present moment and you just let things happen, then you're not manifesting it. And then that goes against what you actually wanted. And anything else is like a waste of time. So for some of you, if there is a set, your emotions are valid. All your emotions are valid. The reasons why you have certain emotions, that might not be something that people understand totally. Maybe you don't even understand it. But being fixated on a certain thing isn't necessarily going to be able to get you what you want. In fact, almost shedding your idea of what you expect, or how things should go, or is probably the best way to find what you're looking for. Because this desire to the way that you're going about it, the practice that you're going about it, it's not that it's all wrong. That's not what I'm saying. It's almost a certain kind of mindset of about it. And you have to just, I would say, mix it up a bit. Um, there are different aspects about a person that you might not see on um, at first because you are so focused on this love connection. You might not see, if you're not present in a moment, you might not see what someone has to offer. It's almost as if you have kind of like blinders on. And it seems that if you kind of keep going, it might be that you have this kind of pattern for other things you want. Let's say, getting in shape, uh, cutting your hair, being a certain look. It's almost as you are just always very much just gung ho. You just go for it. And um, militaristic is kind of the way, very, um, um, what's the word? Very dedicated, very determined. And that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just something that um, is kind of how you operate and how you haven't kind of gotten what you're looking for. Um, it might work in terms of, changing your hair, changing your style, losing weight, but in terms of connecting with another person, that approach is it almost repels people. Um, Change direction with ease. This is a time for change, shape shifting, or your soul's evolution. It's a time to reconsider what you are wanting. You may be in for a surprise. So, yeah, don't have certain expectations. Kind of go with the flow. Um, if you kind of walk into a room and you think, oh, it's these three people I find physically attractive and I want to spend time, getting to know, or I would say try at least just to check it out, just for a experiment. Perhaps just be in the moment and kind of see where things go without being so like focused. And I know there's people who are like, oh, well, I see those three people and they're physically attractive, but I'm going to just do my own thing. And if things happen, that's fine. And if they're not, I'm not going to go after that person. I'm not trying to, look like I'm trying. But that's just trying not to look like you're trying. That's different than just letting things happen and being in the present. Adrift in shallow water, take a few deep breaths and reconnect to your inner peace. Notice the small things and appreciate them. So, again, a sense of the micro mannerisms, and really just kind of be okay in that moment where you are not connecting, that you're not finding love. It seems like you can have dates, but and you can go about the way things, you have been, and you will get dates in terms of getting someone, in the next 3 months, in terms of quality, in terms of that love connection. It's something to work on. It's probably not going to happen the next 3 months, but it's definitely something that you can work towards. And I'm hoping that this provides a helpful perspective of your love life for the next 3 months. And we'll see you next time. Take care.